The Times of London the other day reported on this flat Earth society that's now booming, at least booming to the extent that flat Earth societies can for the time being. But I mean, they had I don't know, they had a conference the other day in London, and they got like 300 flat earthers who all had these points about like the horizon, no one had actually been to it. How do you know? And there was some amazing. Then they had T-shirts and things. You know, they obviously want people to know they're flat earthers and how dim they are. But you know, we weren't expecting that. We weren't expecting the flat Earth society to get a boom in the foreseeable future, and yet there they are.
I can remember years ago, and I don't know how many people here watched a lot of episodes of the Atheist Experience, but there was an episode where I basically said, well, nobody believes in the Greek gods anymore. And that was a mistake because the emails came in. It didn't come pouring in, they trickled in, but it was still...
What did they say?
They said, oh, you're wrong. I actually still do believe in the Greek gods. And I was like, oh, that's a good joke. And then they were clearly offended and outraged that I would dismiss this as a joke. And so I had a brief conversation with one of them, and it's not worth repeating. But to be fair, it encouraged me to exercise more caution in making, grandiose claims of nobody believes this anymore. Oh, somebody does.
You sort of hope that they're in a terrible internecine war with people who still worship the Roman gods. They just go at it late at night.
Yes. I've done much the same thing with Christian apologists on occasion. There was an event where I had done a video about slavery, and every Christian apologist has a different pathway to try to rehabilitate the Bible's position on slavery. And so I was standing there with 4 of them, and they were all trying to rehabilitate this in a different way.
Right.
And so it was perfect because I just said, you 4 sort it out. When you figure out what the right answer is from God, come back and I'll address that one. Because until you do, I don't see any reason to address 4 different answers from God. Why hasn't he cleared this up already?
Yeah. Were there any plausible arguments from them?
I don't know. I never heard back from them after they... I suspect that there was not agreement.
At least they'd all agreed it was bad. And they were trying to...
You would hope so, but you would be mistaken.
Really?
Because there are people who go down that road that say that once upon a time it was perfectly moral and acceptable. And also that because ultimately it was in the benefit of those who were enslaved because they now had access to the true religion that they didn't have access to before.
Right. God, it's a hell of a way to get it, isn't it? It's the worst route there.
Yeah, salvation at gunpoint, I guess, kind of.